right, so we are being recorded and we'll go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome everybody to our monthly workshop here at the Florida Outreach Center for the Blind. My name is Jason Goldfield. I'm the assistive technology instructor here. And we are proud to have with us two representatives today who are going to be presenting some very exciting products from the Humanware line of products for blind and low vision users. We have Joel Zimba, who is directly from Humanware out of Baltimore, Maryland. Joel, I'd like to welcome you.
Thanks for having me, Jason. Glad to be here.
Thank you. And we also have Lisa Kretschner from Florida Reading Vision. And Lisa, it's good to have you with us as well. And we have a few more people coming in, and that's good. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start the presentation. We'll go ahead and hand this over at this time to our presenters, Joel and Lisa. And who would like to go first, actually?
I'm a gentleman. I'm gonna defer to Lisa here.
Oh, okay, wonderful. All right.
Yeah. Put her on the spot, unless she has an objection.
Yeah. Lisa, you there?
I'm here. Sorry about that.
Okay. All right. Okay. Are you okay?
Leave me high and dry, Lisa.
All right.
No, I'm sorry. I missed the intro. He said, "Oh, we'll wait a couple minutes." So I stepped away. You know, I thought I could do like
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I kind of
six more
on you.
6 more things before the meeting started.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay. Trust me, I know. So Joel would like to defer to you to go first, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, sure. Of course.
All right, great. The floor is all yours.
All right. So let me, good afternoon, everybody. Let me share here the screen and, oops, share my video and flip the screen. There we go. All right. So, hello, good afternoon. How many folks do we have, and where is everybody? Can you kind of give me an idea who's on the meeting, Jason? Who's joined us this afternoon? Can you hear me, Jason? Okay, I'm not hearing you, Jason.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I had myself on mute. I'm sorry about that.
There you are. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. We actually have 12 people on the call so far, and we have a few individuals who are from our local area here in West Palm Beach. Of course, where the Florida Outreach Center is based out of. We have a gentleman who is from the west coast of Florida over near Clearwater. And I know, and we have some other individuals. I'm not quite sure where they are. They are on mute right now. So, and with all that. So hopefully we'll have some more individuals be joining us soon.
Okay, excellent. So I want to thank Florida Outreach Center for the Blind for hosting us this afternoon. We're going to be featuring several products from Humanware, including the Reveal 16 and 16i, the Explore 5 and Explore 8. I'll cover those products. Those are all low vision products with magnification, lighting, contrast. We'll go into some more detail, of course. And then Joel Zimba from Humanware is joining us to showcase the blindness products, including the Braille Note Touch Plus and the Victor Reader Trek. And he'll be able to tell you a little bit about the new features that were just announced today. So that's exciting. It's a big day. I'm going to start out with the Reveal 16 because I have that those powered up here. There's two different models. The model on the left is the Reveal 16. The model on the right is the Reveal 16i, and they look identical except for the 16i for intelligence has an additional button on the front monitor, front on the bottom of the monitor that allows us to toggle back and forth between the live view mode and the Android tablet mode that gives us all our Prodigy application and all our Google Play Store access. So the device itself will magnify from 1 to 45 times magnification. The monitor is 16 inches and can be raised and lowered and then tilted a little bit for different ergonomic comfort. There are just 4 controls on the Reveal 16, and it has a power button on the left, and at the bottom of the monitor there's a little recessed area that has a focus lock, a magnification knob that's tactile and a contrasting color, orange, Humanware orange. And it also, it clicks into the magnification level. I like that. So it doesn't just zoom all the way up to like 20x. You can go in small increments when you're adjusting your magnification level. And then the third button in that little recessed area gives us our different color contrasts. And if we press that button in, it allows us to adjust the brightness within each of those color contrasts. So it's a very simple machine, very, very easy to use. It has, just the controls that you need, not a lot of bells and whistles that you might not otherwise use. It does also feature distance viewing. So I'm going to turn this to the side so you can see where the distance viewing camera is. And this tips up. We have about 120-degree field of view for distance viewing. So that's great if you're in a meeting and you're watching a PowerPoint presentation or viewing the presenter in a classroom. That's great, of course, for students to see the whiteboard, view a PowerPoint presentation or an overhead projector. And then the fantastic thing about both of these models is that they fold easily with 2 steps. You can fold this down and it weighs only 13 pounds. And there's a case, a shoulder strap case, so it can be easily transported between work, home, school. And, even if you just want to use it in different places around the home, it's easily, folded to a compact design. It has little handholds on the back bridge here. And you can also, as an accessory, there is a 7-hour battery that's available. And that adds just 1 pound to the weight of the Reveal. All right, so on to the right, then I have the Reveal 16i. And right now we have a map of the US here. Got Florida on the screen. There's plenty of working distance to fit any type of reading material. For example, I have a food package here and it auto focuses very quickly. I have plenty of room to write underneath here, turn pages in, textbooks, or I have a gal who's using this. She's refers to all these accounting tax code information, and they're very thick books. And the Reveal does an excellent job of being able to accommodate the different thickness when you have a book open. So right now on the right, I have a recipe that's just a couple pages, a recipe book that's a couple pages. And to the right, I have a food package that's about 1.5 inches thick, and it's able to focus on both sides of the reading material there. So in addition to being able to view any documents or pill bottles or recipes or newspapers, right now I've got the comics on there, Charlie Brown. I can put my calendar under here, of course, and make notations on my calendar. That's all in live mode, right? If I tip up the distance viewing camera, I have a map up on the wall here. We can see a little bit of the map on the screen. And then I can easily just rotate that camera back and place it in the downward position. And then I'm back down magnifying on the tray here, the reading tray. So that's your basic video magnifier or CCTV function. But what's special about the Reveal 16i is that it has an operating system, the Android operating system, and I can toggle by pressing that extra button that this has. And let's see, I was on a recipe here earlier. So I'm going to go back out to the main carousel, and you'll see all of our tools in the Prodigy operating system, or the Prodigy application. So when you switch over to the Prodigy application, we have our camera icon. We have a books for Bookshare application that we can launch right from here. We have a large print talking calculator. We have a quick add, so a quick add in apps. So instead of having to exit out to the operating system, we can add our favorite applications. So I've added Google and YouTube, my calendar, and my contacts right in that quick add. And it's already large print, and I can actually have those menus spoken as well if I would like. Actually, I should probably turn that back on so you hear that. So I'm going to go into camera and show you how we can do text to speech. It has a really nice feature that gives us a placement marker on the screen. It's a contrasting area, black on white. Whatever we can fit into that area is what's going to be captured just by pressing the camera button, and it'll process. It actually gives us a little like a timer, a wheel that's spinning to tell us that it's processing, it's recognizing the text, making sure that it's right side up, and then it's ready. We can press the play button now. Oop.
Cake, 4 tablespoons flour, plain flour, not self-raising, 4 tablespoons sugar, 2 tablespoons.
So there's all sorts of gestures that we can use on the touch screen to be able to operate the software. So I just paused it by just tapping on the screen. If I want to go back and read the recipe from the beginning, I can use my finger to move to the top of the page and just press on the word where I want to start reading or close to it.
And a chocolate mug cake, 4 tablespoons flour, plain flour, not self-raising, 4 tablespoons.
Okay, so I could literally let it read 1 or 2 instructions or ingredients at a time. I can speed up the speech by swiping from right to left, like I'm going forward in the book, and I can swipe left to right as I go back in the recipe book. I can also increase and decrease the magnification with gestures, just like we do on our phones for magnification. And if I swipe on the right-hand side from top to bottom, I can change my color contrast. So right now I have Diamond Edge, which is a perfect font, and I have it with black letters on a blue background. So just by swiping, I can have my positive, negative, and full color contrast easily, depending on what I'm looking at, and which contrast looks better if I'm having it read to me, or maybe if I'm viewing something like a pill bottle or a food package. It might look better in full color. So without having to go into a menu, I can just use gestures to drive those options. So from here, I can save this document and I can organize my documents in folders. But once it's saved, I have a new tool called Writing Tools, and it's actually a little icon that looks like a pencil with a little squiggly line. I can choose a pencil, a highlighter, or a typing keyboard. And from here, if I want to alter this recipe, I could choose the writing tool. I can choose my pen color or pencil color. So if I want it to be blue, and I can change the line thickness to thin or very thin, medium, wide, or extra wide. So now I can actually make notations on this recipe. If I want to, instead of 4 tablespoons of flour, I like to use 5 tablespoons. I can go ahead and make that notation on my recipe. I can highlight by tapping the writing tool and changing it to a highlighter. So maybe if I'm making a shopping list, I could go through and highlight the things that I want to shop for that I need from this recipe. And the other tool I have, if I tap that tool one more time, now I have a typewriter keyboard, and I can place my finger where I want to write. And I can add here that I want to add 1 egg, maybe. Okay, so you can really customize and documents that you've saved. In addition, you can import PDF and JPEG documents directly into the Prodigy application and use all those same tools to mark up a document, and also have it read out loud, things that you download from the internet. You can use all these same tools right in the Prodigy application. It's super powerful. So I'm going to go ahead and back out here and show you that that's in the gallery where all of our saved documents are located. And what's really awesome about this, there's my file that or my recipe that I saved, and it called it minute because the first word that it recognized on the page is minute. But I can press and hold and get a context menu that allows me to share this document. So I could share this recipe with, I saw Sheila had posted, you guys had a recipe swap recently. So this is a cool way to be able to share a recipe with your own notations on it. You share it as a PDF, a JPEG, or a text file. And if I tap on that, then it asks me how I want to share it. Do I want to share it as a Gmail, via Gmail? I can upload it to Google Drive. I can share it with someone nearby. And if I had a printer connected, I could also print this along with all the modifications that I made to the recipe. All right, so that is super powerful for students, for anybody who's active on the computer, right? I can rename it. So it named it Minute, but I'm using now I'm holding up my large print high contrast keyboard, Bluetooth keyboard on the screen. So from here, I'm going to type and I'm going to call it Mug Cake. And now that is saved as Mug Cake. And I'm going to press and hold again and move it to my recipe folder. So that is very cool. So we have the camera feature, the Bookshare application, that's great for students. The large print talking calculator, which is also a scientific calculator. And then those quick add features that I told you about. So when you go over to the internet, of course, if we're on Google, we can use things like OK Google. We have access to the Google Play Store where you can download your favorite applications, your banking application, for students, it's things like iReady and Blackboard and Epic and things like that. But anything that you can, you can customize your device. So think of this as it's an all-in-one tool that allows you to do your email, internet, OCR, text to speech, organize all your file folders, move from, the portability from class to class, being able to have it the battery operated for 7 hours, so you don't have to sit in a specific seat, and then have your live mode for all the, and distance viewing mode for intermediate and distance viewing. Does anyone have any questions on the Reveal or Reveal 16i?
All right. For those who have any questions for Lisa, to kind of go over the raise your hand command, since everybody's muted, we'd like for people to use the raise your hand command on Zoom. If you're on the computer, it would be Alt-Y on your keyboard. If you're on the telephone, it would be *9. That's *9. And if you're on the if you're on the iPhone or iPad, you would go under the More option on the right-hand side, and there's an option for raise hand. So with that being said, do we have any questions for Lisa?
Florida, Humanware -5 post 5. Florida, Lisa Gretsch, anti-vent, computer audio muted, video off. Lisa Gretschburg, computer audio muted, video off. Florida, Humanware -5, 19086703721, telephone.
Dixie, are you there? Dixie Theory
Yes.
is she's one of the other individuals helping me co-host. Do you see any hands raised?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
No hands raised so far, so you can go ahead and continue.
okay. So then the other two devices that I wanted to talk a little bit about are portable video magnifiers. And we have two, the Explorer 5 and the Explorer 8. So I'll start out with the Explorer 5, and it is very lightweight. It's half a pound. It's not much bigger than, actually it's probably smaller than the new iPhones now, those big Mac screens. It has a 5-inch diagonal screen. What I love about these handheld video magnifiers is that they power on as soon as you open up the handle. There is a power button, an on-off, but it deploys within a second of opening up the handle. This is a great, if someone's using a 4 or 5 times magnifying glass, it's really the perfect time to consider a video magnifier, because what this will give you is a wider field of view. It's going to give you the contrast, the sharp white on black or black on white, as you know, there's various other color combination like yellow and black, blue and yellow, as well as full color, of course. It's also going to give you magnification from 2 to 22 times. So this Explorer 5 is like having a basket full of magnifiers, a basket full of handheld magnifying glasses in one device. It has a rechargeable battery that holds a charge up to 4 hours of either continuous or intermittent use. You can store over 1,000 images, and you can also freeze images. For example, a phone number. If you wanted to find a phone number on a business card, you can press on the right-hand side. You have 3 buttons. You have an increase magnification plus, and it has a little tactile marking on it. The middle button is a minus or a decrease magnification. And then the bottom button on the right also has a tactile marking, and it's a different color. It's orange. If you press that, it freezes the image. So if you had that phone number on a business card, I could freeze the image and then go make that phone call. So I'm not trying to manipulate the magnifying glass and the business card and the telephone. If I press and hold that freeze button, it puts the image into my gallery where I can go back and reference it. I can zoom in on it. I can change the color contrast, or I can connect this Explorer 5 to a larger screen, either a monitor with an HDMI port or a television screen as large as you have, and view all those saved images on that bigger screen, or on the larger screen. Whatever's here will then appear on that bigger screen. In live mode, if it's connected to a computer, you could move those images back and forth, via the USB cable from the Explorer 5 to the computer, or vice versa. So you could make like a little photo album on here. With the handle, it's super useful for viewing things on a shelf or in a cupboard. If you're at the grocery store and you want to reach up and make sure you're looking at the price tags or looking at the bottles or cans, you can freeze, bring the Explorer 5 down and look at it closer, instead of having to reach and pull all those things down individually to view them. You can take a little snapshot and make sure you're by the right product that you're looking for. All right. It can be used, it has a stand that can be used in 3 different positions, either in the flat position where it's more like using a magnifying glass. There's also a little tilt where it will stand on the tabletop by itself, and then you could just pull it along as you read what's under the camera. And then there's also kind of like a little easel stand, which I show people how to use that if they want. It gives them a little bit more working distance, and then they could look at something like a pill bottle or an insulin syringe that way. And then when it folds up, it has a wrist lanyard and also a little neoprene pouch that it comes with, a little padded pouch. So it protects the screen, and this can literally fit in a pants pocket or a shirt pocket or a purse or a merce. All right, and then the larger screen is the Explore 8. And what folks love about this is the touch screen. It's one of the only portable devices that has a touch screen. So I can do my gestures that increase and decrease with a pinch or a reverse pinch. And with that, I can go on the Explore 8, I can zoom from 2 to 30 times magnification. All right. And I also have, with the larger screen and the working distance, I do also have the ability to turn the screen, depending on if you're left or right-handed, and right behind the camera. My buttons on the front are also tactile. So on the bottom left of the screen, I have my minus. In the center, I have the contrast. So I tap that and get my different contrast: white on black, black on yellow, yellow on black. I believe there's up to 20 different contrast colors that you can enable. And then on the far right, I have my increased magnification. So you can just tap it or press and hold, and it will zoom in. And it does a great job of maintaining the focus while you're adjusting the magnification. Okay, so what I did forget to mention is the Explore 8 also, when you open up the stand, it powers on in 1 second also. And then if I close the stand, it switches to the distance viewing camera. So now I can use this. I'm looking at a map. I have a big antique map on the wall here in the office. So if I'm at a museum, maybe looking at art or reading the plaques that describe the art or the pottery or the piece that I'm viewing, I could read that at a distance. We've had people use this for looking, reading menus, you know, when you're standing to order at the counter somewhere like, Burger King or McDonald's, to read a bus station, bus stop map or bus number or time schedule. Being able to read a street sign from across the way to make sure you're at the right intersection. So this is very valuable. It could be used in a classroom to take snapshots, because we can also use the freeze frame feature. The button is up on the top right. So we could capture those distance viewing images and either save them or do that quick view. Like I was suggesting, if you were reading a street sign, you could capture it and then bring it up close and zoom in on it to read. And maybe you might even want to change the contrast to view it better. This device weighs about 1 pound. It also holds a charge up to 4 hours and comes with a little neoprene cover as well. Both the Explore 5 and the Explore 8 come with a 2-year warranty. And right now through the end of the year, we're including, Florida Vision Technology is including the 3rd year for free. So that's $110 value to have for the Explore 8 with the 3-year warranty. And that's a $50 add-on value for the Explore 5. And that's through the end of this year. And the other promo that we have for the Reveal 16i, Humanware is offering the free battery. This 7-hour battery is free through the end of the year, and that is a $300 value. All right, so that's all I have on the Explorer 5 and 8. If anyone has any questions.
Audio now unmuted. Humanware -5 host.
Okay, with that being said, do we have any questions for Lisa on any of the products she's shown so far? To go over really quick, how to raise your hand on the computer. On the Windows machine, it's all Y. On the telephone, it's *9. And on an iPhone or iPad, it's under the More section on the far right. And under that is a raise your hand command. So with that being said, Dixie, do we have any raised hands?
Not at the moment.
No? Okay. All right.
So we do, I will offer, would like to add that we do provide training on all of our products, and we're giving the option to folks to do virtual training or on-site training. So we have representatives in Tampa Bay area. Annika's in the Tampa Bay area. I myself am in Southeast Florida. Jose's also in Southeast Florida, but we cover all the way up to Orlando and Jacksonville. And then we have Steve, who just joined us in Daytona Beach. So we have the options because of COVID, of course, to do virtual training or in-person training. Thanks, folks. You can, I think in the email or maybe Jason, you'll be able to follow up. You'll be able to share our contact information after the meeting.
Sure, absolutely.
For folks that don't know who we are or how to get a hold of us, you can always reach us at our 800 number. It's 800-981-5119. And I'll repeat the number, 800-981-5119.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lisa. I certainly do appreciate all those wonderful products. Sound very exciting. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on then to our other presenter. We have Joel Zimba joining us today. He's out of Baltimore, Maryland, and he's from Humanware. And he's going to tell us about some of the exciting products they have for blind individuals and visually impaired individuals as well. So, Joel, the floor is all yours.
All righty. Thank you, Jason. Lisa, that was great. You and I have never done a presentation like that before. This is fun.
I know. It is fun. Well, thank you, Joel, too, for joining us last minute here.
Well, thanks. Glad to do it. So I'm going to...
Excuse me.
Hello?
We have a raised hand.
Oh.
Manus?
my screen is still shared too. So let me exit my screen here.
Yeah, I'm going to share my Braille note screen, but if there's a raised hand, let's...
Yeah. Manus, you have a
Manus?
question?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, we've been trying to raise our hands for the past 2 minutes.
Great.
I just wanted to know the price of the Explorer, the two Explorers, please. Can you repeat that?
Oh, sure. Okay. Am I still, can you still hear me?
5
Yes.
by 5.
Yes. Okay. All right. So the Explorer 5 is $749. The Explorer 8 is $1,099.
Okay.
And like I said, right now, those will include a 3-year warranty through the end of the year. And did you want to, I'll go ahead and give the prices on the reveals while we're talking about price. The Reveal 16 is $2,995. And the Reveal 16i is $3,995 with the free battery.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Manus. All right.
I'm glad we have Lisa here to catch all those numbers because I can never keep them in my head.
There you go.
Yeah.
Joel, the floor is all yours.
All right. So I am going to discuss the blindness products today from Humanware, and those would include the Braille Note Touch Plus, which I'm holding here in my lap, and that is a Android tablet with an integrated Braille display. I'm then going to talk about the Brailliant BI14, which was highlighted in your blurb for the event. The BI14 is a very small Braille display. You can hold it in your hand, and I like to think of it as a notepad. You know the little notepad that Columbo carries around with him? It's that. It is a way to quickly write down information in a very portable form factor. It'll, of course, also act as a Braille display with your mobile phone or with computers, of course. It'll connect to your favorite screen reader of choice, whether that's VoiceOver on the Mac or NVDA or JAWS. Works perfectly happily with all of those. And then we're going to discuss the Victor Reader Stream and Trek. And I believe Lisa teased at the top of the hour that the Victor Trek just released a software update today. And it is the software update that I've been looking for ever since the Trek landed. And it's changing what that device means entirely. So if there are any Trek owners or prospective owners out there, this is really gonna excite you. So I don't think I've left out anything else. There are a few other little things I want to tease about upcoming products, and we'll cover all of that. The Braille Note Touch Plus has been around for 2 years, almost 2 years in January. It is the successor to the Braille Note Touch, which launched back in 2016. And I'm going to try to share I'm sharing my screen now. I'll turn on the speech of the Braille Note in a minute so you can all hear it as well. But I don't like to be interrupted. I'm very insecure that way. So I'll turn on the speech when we need it. But I am going to share the screen for those of you who can benefit from that. And Lisa has shown me her excellent audio description skills. I'm not going to do nearly as well, but I will try. So the Braille Note Touch Plus is an Android tablet. It is about the size of the screen itself is roughly something like an iPad mini. It's an 8 or 10-inch screen, and it's running Android 8.1, and that's they named their operating systems after junk food, as many of you may know, and this one is Oreo, and it makes it easy to remember. It's Android O, and that's a significant update to the Braille Note Touch, which was running Android 4.4. And it's worth mentioning right now, before I forget, that at the end of the year, you will no longer be able to update your Braille Note Touch to become a Touch Plus. That we call that our Boost Up program. That is going to end on December 31st. So if you own a Touch out there anywhere, or if you know someone who does, call Lisa today and get that ball rolling to update your Touch to a Touch Plus for the low price of $1,795. That is a fraction of the cost of a Braille Note Touch Plus. So I urge you to do that. It is the difference between night and day for updating that. And we will arrange to make all that happen. It'll be free shipping. You'll send it off. It'll be gone for, we're doing about 10-day turnaround right now, I would say. And it'll come back to you ready to go as a Braille Note Touch Plus. And the plus means that it is much, much faster. It is up to 20 times faster for some operations. And we have all kinds of cool features that weren't on the Touch. But let me run through exactly what the Braille Note Touch Plus is all about. I'm going to turn on my speech here. And the speech is on. Gmail. There we go. We're on the main menu, and I'm highlighting the email application. In our last update, we gave the Keymail app some love. So Keymail and Keyword and KeyCalc are part of the Keysoft suite of productivity applications, and they have been around for, gosh, what, 20 years, maybe longer? And Keysoft is the the branded productivity software that Humanware and probably even Visuade before them started. So the BrailleNote Touch Plus has these key apps pre-installed. So the Keymail is an email program designed with Braille users in mind, meaning that instead of having the buttons laid out on the screen and you have to move around to find them, which is what many of us are familiar with doing with our iPhones and whatnot. All of them are arranged in an easy to access format that's more menu driven. And I'll show you that in some of the applications here. So there's an email program.
Internet, Chrome.
There's the internet browser, which runs Chrome. It runs the latest version of Chrome. So if I open that up, who knows what my last web page was, but we're about to find out.
70%. Web view. 79%.
There you go.
Edit box password.
Oh, there's a login screen of some kind. So this is the Chrome browser, and Chrome is the most widely used web browser on the planet at the moment. The mobile version of Chrome, this is the current version of Chrome. So whatever it was updated to in the Google Play Store is what we are currently running. And as far as I know, that is always going to be the case. So there's no more stuck at old versions and security issues. We are happily running mobile Chrome the same as your friends and family members. So there is Chrome.
Contacts, key list.
There's a contact manager that's called key list. And if I open that up,
polyheading,
you'll see the probably thousands of contacts I have. And I can open one of those up. Here's my friend Paula.
Polyheading.
You can
Contact name.
You can all call her up. Go ahead. She'd love to hear from you. But if I open up the menu, what we call the context menu, using a handy keystroke, like which I believe is space with M, meaning that you hold down the space bar and type the.
I don't have any help
New
here.
contact. Space.
Pardon?
I made 160 by myself.
Oh, okay, someone was not muted there. And if I'm speaking too quickly or something just blows your mind, do feel free to raise your hand and we can come to a screeching halt, but I'm gonna keep rolling here. So here is the context menu of the Keylist app. And the first option is to add a new contact. And I'm reading that in Braille, but if we are also listening to the speech, it would say,
search space with F.
So that's search, and space with F is the shortcut.
Refresh contacts, enter with R. Email contact.
And the email contact option would obviously let you share a contact. Can you all hear that? If not, let me know. But if you can, we'll keep trucking here. I'm using my microphone to pick that up rather than piping the sound right into the to the Zoom. So this context menu idea changes depending on your particular app.
Contacts, key list.
So if I go back here to the main menu and I jump to our file manager.
File manager, key files.
And open that up.
Extra folder.
So here we are in my list of folders. And again, if I open up the context menu.
Mark/unmark, backspace with L, select drive, space with D.
All of the commands that you can do with files and folders are listed here in a nice list. There's no mystery. If you want to learn all the keystrokes, you can learn that your drive list is space with D, but if you don't, you can use the menu. And some people like it one way and some like it the other way. If you can't remember keystrokes, which I can't, I have some of them down by now because I use this device, constantly all day. But if you can't remember keystrokes, man, the context menu is going to be your friend for sure. So if I press the home button, which is the round button on the front of the device, again,
contacts,
it takes me back to our main menu. So we have a book reader that's called Easy Reader. That's a Dolphin product.
Email, Keymail, Easy Reader Plus.
And I'm jumping to that by typing the letter E. So we like to focus on productivity and quick ways of moving around, as well as making sure you can explore and find what you need to find. So if I open up Easy Reader,
Loading.
We're going to see all kinds of
Progress bar. Players handbook information. Progress bar. Because of Winn-Dixie. Kate DeCamillo.
So we have a bunch of Bookshare books, and you can download Bookshare books to your heart's content here. There's a screen on there to log you into Bookshare. There are really, oh gosh, 20 or 30 different libraries you can connect to. In the US, we would mainly be using Bookshare or the Gutenberg project, which is a bunch of free books. Most of the others are from libraries around the world. Humanware is a global company, and the Braille Note Touch really makes that obvious when you look at all the book sources from around the world. We can also access NFB Newsline on the Braille Note Touch Plus, and it will let you, of course, download your favorite periodicals, read them in Braille, or listen to them with synthetic speech. If you're not signed up to use NFB Newsline and you have any kind of print disability, it is completely free. We can definitely get you that information. If you reach out to Lisa, she can get you in touch with the NFB Newsline folks. There's a short, simple application process, and it is, again, completely free and open to anyone of any age. I strongly urge anyone to take advantage of this. It has something like 600 different newspapers, all kinds of magazines, and there are TV listings, and we even have the all kinds of information. There are even newspapers in other languages, definitely some Spanish ones. It's a great resource if you are blind and you can't subscribe to the print periodicals that you'd like to read. I used to work with the Newsline folks, so I know their whole pitch. I'll keep it short. So there is the Easy Reader app.
Contacts. Key list. Email. Key
There
mail,
is.
Internet. Chrome. Calculator. Key calc.
There's a calculator, and we just gave the calculator some love after quite a few years. You can now enter equations in both Nemeth and UEB Braille, and we can also work in fractions as well as decimals. So if I open that up.
Dots 2, 5 deleted.
And I want to do some math here. If I say,
dots 1, dots 3, 5 Braille space.
if I enter 10 times 10.
10 multiplied by 10 equals 100.
There we go. That's even in like normal, understandable English expressions, right? So I have 100 right here. And if I divide that
dots 3, 4
by 200.
Dots 3, 5, 6. 100 divided by 200 equals left parenthesis 1 divided by 2 right parenthesis.
So I see the fraction 1/2 right here. It's written out. And I can turn that into decimal
100
mode.
divided by 200 equals 0.5.
There we go. And now it's the decimal way of writing it, 0.5. This has been a long time coming, and I'm really happy to see our calculator do that. It can also speak UEB format, and I know there are some folks who like to use UEB. I'm showing my age. I'm not a good UEB person, but it will also understand all kinds of the UEB expressions. And again, we have our handy context menu,
Clearly
right?
radians or degrees.
All
Radians.
kinds of those scientific functions.
Contacts. Key list.
So there's also a word processor, which is the main, I think of it as the nerve center of the Braille Note. And it's
word processor, keyword.
Unsurprisingly, we call that keyword, right? So here we are at a blank document, and I could start writing and I could stop writing, sometime next year, and I'd have a document the size of War and Peace, and you could save that and edit it and move around through it. And keyword is so advanced that we have to have sections of our context menu. So if I open up the context menu, we have file, editing functions, which would include things like spell check, right?
Spell check,
in fact,
space with dots 1, 6.
In fact, that's the very first option there is the spell checker. You would mainly see the Braille Note Touch used in schools. So of course, throughout 2020, we've been working with students and teachers to play with apps like, Google Classroom and Canvas. A lot of college students are using Canvas, so I've been bringing myself up to speed with Canvas and Blackboard. You can do all of that on the Braille Note Touch Plus. I've become very accustomed to starting my day with a teacher somewhere in the country asking me how to use an app I've never heard of, and by the end of the day, I have it up and running on the Braille Note Touch Plus. So generally, if any Android app is accessible, you can run it on the Braille Note. I frequently have run Netflix when I have time to kill and I'm on the road, so I can watch movies on the Braille Note. And you can even turn on the audio description, and you can even get some of the captions going so that you can read them in Braille. It takes a little bit of fiddling, but that is certainly possible. I have even seen some folks doing it in bilingual captioning. So if you had a Spanish soap opera on and you wanted to get the English captioning, you can do that. I've seen students in Spanish classes doing that. I would say students make up 65% of the Braille Note base, and then the rest is professionals and just Braille readers who want a powerful portable device that they can use for their own purposes. The Braille Note is the latest in a long line of products, from the original Braille Note and then the Braille Note M-Power and the Apex, and then moving on to the Braille Note Touch and Touch Plus. They've been with us for 20 good years now, and they're going strong. Braille Note sells for $56.95. That's the 32 cell version. The Braille Note 18 sells for something less than that, which I believe is around $41.95, but Lisa can correct me if that's incorrect. And Florida Vision may have their own pricing. That is kind of Humanware pricing. Frequently, dealers like the fine folks at Florida Vision and Reading will have their own pricing and their own deals, much like they do with the extended warranty on the magnifiers. Lisa, do you have anything like that for the Braille Note? I probably just surprised her by asking her a question, and she's muted.
I'm here. Special pricing on the Braille Note. Well, typically we extend a discount to members of the different consumer organizations during summer shows. Right now on the Braille Note, we do have through the end of the year 5% discount. I'm just thinking what all are, we have different specials. Yeah, but a 5% and free shipping on either Braille Note model.
Fantastic. And was I right on the 18 pricing? Is it 41?
Yes, $4,195, correct.
You know, I've been here 2 years. I'm getting this down.
Excellent.
So, excellent. Thank you. And I mentioned the Boost Up program early on. So again, be sure to look into that if you have a Braille Note, the original Braille Note Touch, or you know someone who does. So let's move on. Are there questions? Feel free to jump in and ask.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Joel on this exciting product? I was familiar with their older products and just recently saw Braille Note Touch Plus, so I was really impressed on what I saw. But with that being said, Dixie, do you see any hands raised?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. All right. Okay. Joel,
all right.
Go ahead and continue.
Let me move on to the Brilliant BI-14. And I don't go anywhere without my BI-14. I kind of mean that literally, because it is small enough to toss in a coat pocket, not a pants pocket, but a coat pocket, or to throw it in a bag, and just always have it near at hand. So if I'm out somewhere and I want to write down phone numbers, addresses, someone mentioned recipes earlier, and I have done that. I have written down lines for a play. I've put notes for speeches in my BI-14. It is a 14 cell Braille display, and it's something like, you can look up the actual measurements on the website, but it's something like 6 by 3.5. So it's a very small device, slightly under an inch thick. It has the standard Perkins Braille keyboard on top and a 5-way joystick type control between dots 1 and 4. And it's worth noting that the Brailliant BI-14 is just a Braille display. It does not have synthetic speech. So the key differentiator between the Braille Note products and the Brailliant products is that the Brailliant currently does not include synthetic speech. So the BI-14 can act as a Braille display when you connect it to various devices, and you can connect it to 5 different ones at once. And of course, you have to switch between them, but that would be 4 Bluetooth and 1 USB device. So you can connect it to a couple of iPhones or an iPhone and an iPad and maybe a notebook. And then if you have a desktop computer, you could connect that via micro USB. And there's a switch on the back, and you manually can switch it from the left is in what I call local mode. And that's where you could have the note taker and the stopwatch and the settings. And if you switch it to the right, it switches you into Braille display mode. So the notes feature, in my opinion, makes this really a standout little gadget. It's what I like the most about it. So if you go into the notes, you have an option for your local notes or your Gmail and Outlook notes. So you would sync this via the Brailliant Sync app, which is an app it's a free app for Android or iOS devices. And you connect via Bluetooth to those devices and configure the Brailliant BI-14. One of the cool side effects of doing that is it will set the time correctly based on the time on your device. And so I like to tell everyone that you get a free Braille watch with every purchase, because as soon as you turn on the Brailliant, it will sync up with or it'll show you the time, I'm sorry. And so I'm watching the seconds tick by as we speak. And if I move to the next option on the main menu, I get my notes, and I can open those up. So I can have notes that don't pair across devices in the local section, or I can have some notes that pair up with my Gmail address or my Humanware Outlook address. And those are all separate folders. And the local folder I like to use for things that I don't necessarily want to have copied across the internet, like, I don't know, social security numbers, credit cards, addresses, phone numbers that might be sensitive or important. If anyone out there has Tom Cruise's phone number, you might not want to pair that with your Gmail, just in case something happens to it. I keep my corporate credit card in here when I'm traveling, just in case something wild happens and I find myself up the creek without a paddle and I need to kind of pull that up really quickly. If I'm doing some kind
Excuse me, Joel.
Yeah.
Are you showing this to us? Because we're stuck on like the spell check.
I am not. So there's no way to really show this to you other than I could show you the picture on my camera, but the refreshable Braille would not communicate very well in any kind of means. This does not have a visual output format. I should have clarified that I'm not able to really show you much about the Braille display unless you actually want to see it in my hand, which we can certainly do if I turn on my camera. Good question. I apologize for the confusion there. So the note-taking section will let me just create a new note. And as I type, I can move along through the small 14-cell window. And again, you can have more Braille cells. Certainly, there are 20-cell, 40-cell devices on the market, but the 14-cell is really intended to be compact and easy to carry around and mobile. We focus on that. The BI-14 currently available for the low price of $995. That's $995. So it's sub 1,000. You get a lovely little leather case with it and has a carrying strap that comes with it. There is an executive products case available. It's kind of neoprene and zippy, and it has pockets. It's a lovely little case. I have a BI-14 in the regular leather, and I have a BI-14 in the executive case, which does make it slightly bigger, but it's better padded, and it adds extra storage to the package. So again, when we're standing across the table from each other at a conference, much easier to demonstrate. But refreshable Braille is very hard to communicate about in this format. But I will gladly talk to anyone about it, and so will Lisa, and so will Jose, and I'm sure any of her other folks at Florida Vision. So connecting to an iPhone, for instance, is really as easy as switching over the switch to Braille display mode. So even if you're in the middle of editing a document, or a note, you can switch right back to the Braille display, and you can then switch back, and you'll be right back in your document where you left off. So it's a quick way to go between writing something down and using your device, and back and forth. And one of the unusual things about the Brailliant 14 is that there are no cursor routing keys. Instead, there are touch sensitive spots at the top of each Braille cell. So rather than pressing a button, which you might be familiar with, you can just nestle your finger in this little scalloped partition at the top of each Braille cell, and it'll just route your cursor there. Or if you're already there and you are using it in Braille display mode, you can do that same action to select whatever your cursor is on. It would be like clicking a mouse. And I'm not aware of other devices that have this. I believe the Braille pen used to have it. I don't think that's still available. It may be. I'm not so sure on that. But similar design, I believe, ultimately manufactured by the same people. So manufactured by a company called Harpo. And that's a little inside baseball for you there. So it just so happens that there may be a way that you can obtain a Brailliant BI-14 completely free. And that is by purchasing the yet to be released Brailliant BI-40. That's 40. That's an upcoming product from Humanware, and you would want to contact Humanware to find out more about it. The Brailliant BI-14 costs $29.95. That's $2,995. And if you purchase one today or up until product release, you will also get a Brailliant BI-14 completely free of charge. So if you want to find out more about that, you'll want to contact Humanware. I don't believe that it is available through Florida Reading, and we have had a few people take advantage of that deal nationwide. It's a little bit hard to pitch a product that doesn't exist on these shores yet, but it will. I expect to have mine in about 2 weeks, and then I can start talking about it and demonstrating it more concretely, and we expect to have that available for regular purchase shortly after the beginning of the year. As far as I know, and sometimes I'm the last to hear, so as far as I know, there has yet to be formal pricing for the Brailliant BI-40, but we're excited about it. The original Brailliant BI-40 would be quite a few years old now, and we have retired it. It became impossible to find parts for the Brailliant 40, so we're going to have the Brailliant BI-40 Series X coming out in a few short months. So I'll end my advertisement and get back to your regularly scheduled presentation. So that's the BI40 in a nutshell. I really like it. The keyboard on it is angled in a way that it makes it very comfortable to type in a small space. So that's one of those cool ergonomic features that they thought about when designing the BI40. I'm always happy to run into people who have one, because it's such a handy personal data management tool. Moving on, this would be a great time to raise those hands as I pick up my Victor Trek. If there are questions, feel free to do so.
Do we have any questions for Joel so far regarding these products?
Not at the moment.
Not at the
Alrighty.
moment. All righty. Well, we're going to
Okay.
keep trucking here, folks. So in my hand,
Welcome to the Humanware Braille Note
Shh.
Typography tutorial.
Okay, so I just started up my Victor Trek, which is functionally the same as a Victor Stream, if any of you are Stream owners, except that it has GPS functionality added to it. So
an update is available for your player.
there you go.
Press the
Hang on.
online button to toggle to the online bookshelves. Once there, press 7 to start the update.
So there you go. That is the new update for the Trek. It has version 2.1 that rolled out today. And as you can tell, the Victor Stream and Trek both are equipped with built-in Wi-Fi. And you can use that Wi-Fi to download updates, just like we heard about. But you can also use it to download books from Bookshare or the Bard NLS service or the aforementioned NFB Newsline. You can download podcasts, thousands of internet radio stations. In fact, let me step over to the online bookshelves and we'll get a sense of that.
15.
Is that intelligible?
Online bookshelves. NLS Bard. 11. Books. 2. Chesapeake Bay Cooking with John Shields. The companion cookbook to the public television series.
So that is
John Shields.
That is a cookbook that my friend John Shields, who runs a restaurant here in town called Gertrude's, he published. And Chesapeake cooking is its own unique thing. It's not Southern, it's not Northern, it is Chesapeake. I like to use cookbooks because everyone can relate to it. If I pull out a textbook, everyone gets a little bit, nervous that there's going to be a test at the end. But the only test at the end of a cookbook is that you get to eat what you cook, right? So I'll describe the layout of the Trek here. The majority of the front of the device is a calculator style keypad. There's raised indicators on the 5 just to orient yourself. Above the calculator pad are 3 buttons. They are a square, a circle, and a diamond going from left to right. The circle one is used to move through your bookshelves. And on the Trek, it will also move you into orientation mode. Below the calculator keypad, or I'm sorry, phone style keypad, the calculator goes the other direction, doesn't it? So the 1 is in the upper left-hand corner for those of you that I've just derailed. That would make it a phone style keypad. There's a sleep button, which is kind of moon shaped right below the 0. And that will let you time the amount of time before the shut off. It'll also announce the time and date for you. And below the sleep button are I call them the tape recorder keys. In the center is a rectangular button. That's the play stop. And then there's a left triangle button, which is, of course, rewind. And the right triangle button, which is, of course, fast forward. And if I were to press play.
Bowl and add the sauteed onion and celery. Add the sage and nutmeg.
And if I press again, it'll stop. so that will, of course, stop and start your book. And if I move somewhere else on the device or turn it off or move to any other book and come back, we can, of course, resume play from where we were. If this device were around when I was a student, I probably would have had better grades because you can keep all kinds of books and reference materials right at hand. And you can drop these bookmarks, whether those are placeholder bookmarks or audio note bookmarks that will play right in your book as you're listening. It's a great research tool, and it's a great way to enjoy your leisure books as well. So in fact, if I go to the bookshelf here,
Online bookshelves. NLS Bard. 11. Books. 2. Chesapeake Bay Cooking with John Shield. 3.
God Save the Mark, a novel of crime and confusion by Donald E. Westlake.
there you go. So if you get tired of listening to your cookbook, you can pull up any other Bard book. In this case, it is a Donald Westlake novel, which I read when I'm traveling. It's light reading that does not make me think too much. Of course, NLS Bard, a free service by the National Library Service for the blind. And are they changing their full name to Blind and Print Disabled? Have they officially done that? I believe that is the case. I have to get used to saying that. I'll be glad to tell you how to get connected up with them. Also a free service from the folks who bring you taxes. That would be your government. So there is a free NLS player. It actually runs almost the same software as a Victor Stream, much larger device, but the Victor Stream and Trek are handheld, a very small device that I'm holding in my hand, size of a phone, you would say, except it has all tactile controls. You can control the speed and the volume and the tone, meaning a bass and treble type control. There is an SD card slot. Those are the little plastic postage stamp sized, I guess slightly larger than that. They're shaped like old school floppy disks, so much so that even one side has that little bite taken out of it, so you can tell which way to orient it. And you slide those in and you can store vast amounts of information on it. There is some internal storage as well. I believe it is 8 gigabytes on the Victor Stream, and boy, I want to say 32 on the Trek. I hope that's right. I'm so bad with numbers. There are, of course, output jacks for headphones, and there's a line in on the Stream, but not on the Trek. On the Trek, it's a mic style input for a headset, so there's only one 1/8" plug on the Trek, but there are 2 on the Stream. And my favorite feature of both of these devices, hands down, is that you also have a voice recorder. And sure, you can record voice notes on your iPhone, but there are extra steps. So anytime the device is turned on, I can press the button on the right-hand side.
Start recording.
And now I am recording. And it's that easy to make a recording and then stop.
Stop recording.
And
Note 1. Created. 3.
God Save the Mark,
there we
a
go.
novel of crime and confusion
So it
by
tells
Donald E. Westlake.
tells me I'm back in my book, but I created that note and it's on my note bookshelf. So if I press the number 1 button,
Podcasts. NFB New Bookshare. Internet radio. References.
Oh.
0. Orientation.
Searching for satellites.
Offline bookshelves. Talking books. Other books. Notes.
there we
1.
go.
Note 1.
There's my notes, and I only have 1 note. I'm going to play it. And now I am recording. Who is that guy? How'd they let him in here? And of course, I played that just by pressing the play button. So that's in my online bookshelves. So that is the Victor Stream, which I believe costs, as of today, from Humanware, $399. Yes, we increased the price because the parts of the Stream have increased in price in the past year or two. So there had to be a small adjustment to that. So the cost is $399. And the Victor Trek, which is actually the device I have, is currently $699. And the Trek is newer technology. So under the hood, you have Bluetooth as well as a faster processor, which is noticeable with downloads as well as doing some of the operations. And interestingly enough, it also has GPS added, meaning that you can switch into GPS mode, and once your satellites are locked on, you can press one button and it will tell you exactly where you are on the map, on the globe. In fact, when you buy the Trek, you just get North America maps installed, but you do have the option of switching to Europe maps if you're going to be traveling, or other parts of the world. So don't be afraid. If you're going to Australia, we can hook you up. That will happen magically in the background. Can't store the whole globe because the maps are stored internally. You don't download them like you do on your iPhone. So you don't have to have a data connection of any kind. This just picks up the GPS satellites directly from the satellites that can be detected, and it locates it on the internally stored maps. All that said, the new release that came out today involves new maps. These maps are free to existing users, no extra cost, but the maps are way better. They are from a company, I believe, called Be Here. And it's getting harder and harder to find downloadable maps. Those are slowly vanishing, but we still have them around. I believe this company supplies autonomous car manufacturers and drone manufacturers with internal maps. So they're downloadable maps for situations where you have to have them near at hand. Excuse me for a moment. It's the change of seasons, and they fired up the heat in my condo yesterday, and it is dry as the Sahara in here. Much better. Okay, so the GPS feature will, especially with these new maps, adds all kinds of points of interest and better intersections. And I'm really excited about the new maps. And one of the best features is that you don't have to download them over Wi-Fi. You can download them on your computer and then copy them over with your SD card. I won't demonstrate that process. It's time consuming, but it is easy. Once you copy them over, you pop the card in, turn it on, switch into orientation mode, and the player takes care of the rest. It walks you through the update process, and you will be up and going with those new maps. If you need any help with that, you can call our tech support folks at Humanware, or you can call Lisa, and they will give you a hand with that. I'm really excited to get this rolling out because it fulfills the promise that we made to Trek owners years ago when the product was released, and it's really starting to come to fruition. The best part about the orientation feature is that now, as of today, the virtual explore mode is available. So as far as I know, there is no other hardware GPS implementation, meaning no other device built for blind people that will give you virtual exploration features. And what that means is you can be sitting in the comfort of your own home. I could sprawl on my couch and I could put in an address of my choice. And we are going to demonstrate this, but I'll talk it up first, if you will. I could put in an address that I'm going to go to later. And I could virtually explore that address, meaning that I could move around the streets in that location. I could even search for nearby points of interest to get a sense of the lay of the land way before I go there. So when the world is not upside down, I travel all the time, greatly up and down the East Coast. So from Massachusetts to Florida. And when I'm visiting Orlando or someplace like that, if I have an address I'm going to, I could pop that in and I could get a sense of how the streets go together. Or if I were visiting a client, I could think about what I might want to have for lunch. Obviously, if I'm a cookbook guy, then I always want to think about treating my stomach well when I'm running around. As Lisa knows, I have to know where those tacos are going to come from. You know, I'm a taco powered Braille product selling machine, right? So we got to plan that out. And the best way to do that is to use your GPS to look around. So you can get step-by-step directions from your iPhone, but you're not really able to explore the streets in quite the same way a sighted person can do by looking at a map. But the Trek will let you do that. So if I go into the orientation mode here, and I'm going to turn up my volume and go into orientation mode. I hope you can hear this.
Online bookshelves. Orientation.
Searching for satellites.
It says it's searching for satellites. It's not going to find many, if any, because we're indoors. But I'm going to go to a landmark that I've previously entered by pressing the square button on the upper left of the device.
Select a landmark as your destination. 22 landmarks.
Peterson Hall.
That's not where we want to go.
We are at the front.
100 West University Parkway, Baltimore, Maryland.
So it said 100 West University Parkway, Baltimore, Maryland. That happens to be a place called the One World Cafe, which is a lovely, mostly vegan restaurant. I like to take people there when they're visiting from out of town. And great beer selection, great coffee, and you can go there and get some takeaway lunch. I don't think they're actually open for dine-in service right now because nobody is, right? So if I select this, oops.
Select a landmark as your destination.
We are at
100 West University Parkway. Press confirm to start instructions. Press and hold if in vehicle. Press up to enter map browsing mode.
So
turn instructions to a landmark may guide you through unfamiliar paths.
So it gave us some directions there, and I can start navigation to there from my current location, and we're not really locked on. Again, I'm inside, but if I press the up arrow.
Entering map browsing mode. You are currently on West University Parkway, heading east.
So it says I'm on West University Parkway heading east at 100 West University Parkway, which is the One World Cafe. And there are arrow dots on the Trek. So the 2 has an up arrow and the 8 has a down arrow. You see where I'm going here? The left has a left arrow and the right has a right arrow. So the way you would think of this is moving forward. So if I'm facing east and I press the up button, meaning the forward button.
In 234 feet, 4-way intersection, West University Parkway crossing Canterbury Road.
So West University Parkway crossing Canterbury Road, and it told me it's a 4-way intersection. This is Christmas if you are navigating blind, which I have been known to do in my life, as in every day. So if I get to this 4-way intersection and I want to turn left, I can just press the left arrow.
On your left, Canterbury Road.
And now I have turned left, as it were, and you can build your map of your surroundings as we go. So I'm now walking on Canterbury Road. So I would press the forward button.
In 477 feet, 3-way intersection, Canterbury Road crossing roundabout.
So there you are. The Canterbury Road intersects with a roundabout at a 3-way intersection. Again, invaluable information, right? And I could reverse direction by pressing the down arrow.
In 479 feet, 4-way intersection, Canterbury Road crossing West University Parkway.
So now we're walking back the other way, and I'm facing more or less south, right? If you're picturing this. And if I were to turn left again.
On your left, West University Parkway.
There you go. And walk forward again.
In 259 feet, 3-way intersection, West University Parkway crossing street with no name on your right.
So sometimes you get a service road, and this isn't like a Western movie where it's the street with no name. It is just some kind of service road or alley, but we're walking back on the University Parkway, and you can walk all around the city. There is no limit to how far you can explore. I have walked for miles using this feature in my map of Baltimore. And as far as I can tell, it is correct. I have walked all around neighborhoods I know intimately, and it does appear to be correct. But I can go ahead and press my "Where am I" button. If I hold that down, that's holding down dot 5.
What's around? 9 items. 1. Doubletree, Baltimore. Hotel. 4 West University Parkway. 70 feet.
So I held down the number 5, and it's pulled up a list of things around me. And the first one that comes up is the Doubletree. And if I press my right button,
2. Embassy. Restaurant. 4 West University Parkway. 259 feet.
there's the Embassy Restaurant. That's an Indian restaurant that happens to also be delicious.
3. One World Cafe. Restaurant. 100 West University Parkway. 437 feet.
There was our original destination, the One World. So we can just keep going through here. There are all kinds of points of interest, and then there's a search option. So you could search in different categories. So if I wanted to go over there and find the nearest ATM, we could do that, and then we could plot a route to that destination. Again, some people like the GPS option on their phones, but this is a dedicated device that will let you not only locate yourself, but explore virtual maps, and it's dedicated to that purpose. And the tactile buttons are one of those big deciding factors. If you want to press the dot 5 button, if you want to press the number 5 button and know exactly where you are, this is the device for you. I love having it with me when I'm out walking around, because if I have the slightest doubt as to where I am, the Trek will let me know how right or wrong I am. When you purchase a Trek, it comes in a little carrying case. It's kind of silicone-y, and there is a big, heavy clip on the back, so you can clip it onto a jacket or a strap of a bag or something, and it's not really going to come loose if you get it hooked on there. There's also a little wrist strap that you can attach to a ring on the top. It charges via USB. Of course, it comes with the USB power supply. The executive leather case, again, is kind of a heavier case with extra storage, and it's a lovely, lovely case that is a little more protective and adds that extra pocket that would let you hold, I don't know, maybe an SD card or 2 in there. And that is the new and improved Trek. And I'm really excited about it because I can actually demonstrate it now. It never has been easy to demonstrate to people unless we all go on a little field trip. And I have done that many times. I have taken a group of orientation and mobility teachers, or sometimes I'll take students who are learning cane travel out with a Victor stream, and we go on a little pre-set up scavenger hunt, right? We have things we need to find, and you might not know the routes you're going, but you can follow the instructions of the Trek to find what you need to find step by step. So it's an invaluable tool. And I have talked up the Trek for long enough. At this point, I would take Trek questions, but I would take any other kinds of questions about Humanware products that I have or have not discussed. So if anyone wants to jump in, or random questions not directly connected to anything I've talked about, Lisa and I will do our best.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Joel. That's was a wonderful presentation on those products. With that being said, do we have any questions for either Joel or Lisa regarding any of the products that were shown today? Once again, just to kind of go over, raise your hand commands, Alt-Y on your Windows computer, *9 on your telephone keypad, and on the iPhone or iPad, you go under More, and it's an option under that menu as well. So with that being said, do we have any questions whatsoever?
Not at this time.
Not at this time. Wow. Okay. Either either everybody's asleep or you guys did a phenomenal job. Well, you guys did do a phenomenal job. Yeah, no, both of you did an excellent job. So, you know, I had an opportunity. I remember the Trek when it first came out. I got to see it at the local or national rather NFB convention, and the only question I had about it was one thing I noticed was that the speaker on it wasn't very loud. Is that something that they're kind of working on, the volume of it? Because it didn't seem to go up very loud.
So did you take it out walking or was it indoors?
No,
when
it
you
was
saw
done in a very noisy. Oh, this was sort of defeating the purpose. It was in a very, very noisy exhibit hall, and I know if you've been to national conventions,
Oh,
you probably
yes.
know exactly what I'm talking about.
I sure do. So,
Yeah.
so I have two answers to that. One is it is not super loud. It is a speaker of convenience for listening to books and whatnot. But when you go outside, you can suddenly switch into outdoor volume mode, and you don't have to do anything. This is just it's just gravy, but the speaker suddenly does become louder because you are outside and walking around. So you can turn it up and it'll say outdoor volume, and then you can add extra oomph to that for five, I think 5 extra clicks of volume can be gotten out of it. And if you have it in your pocket that's, covered up or something, you're not going to be able to hear it. But what I do is I clip it to my collar or to the strap of something that's, going over my chest, and I can definitely hear it. Maybe if there's a loud truck going by, you can't, but definitely that volume boost when you're outdoors, you can hear. I have no trouble hearing my speaker when I have it turned up and I'm in a hotel room, for instance. But if you want something like something that you're going to be able to hear in the NFB exhibit hall, and yeah, you're right, it's loud. You can certainly connect it to a Bluetooth speaker. I'm talking about the Trek. The Stream cannot do that. You'd have to use the output to connect to some kind of secondary speaker, which you can definitely do. But the Bluetooth speaker is a great option, and that's often what I do when I'm demonstrating this when I'm out and about, is connected to a Bluetooth speaker.
Oh, okay.
Or Bluetooth headphones, of course.
Yeah. All right.
We have a
thank
question.
you very much. We actually do have a question here from Luz. Luz, you have a question?
My question is related to the Braille note. Can I use that one, of course, with the UEB and for foreign language too, Spanish or French?
Spanish and French are all available. In fact, if you want to add Spanish, French, whatever, you can just switch through the different languages. There is a way to definitely configure that. There are about something like 1,500 different Braille tables in there. That is not to say that you can switch the speech into every language, but definitely English and Spanish and Italian, Portuguese, all the major ones are supported, the Chinese as well, and Japanese. And there is a keystroke that will move you into a language selection list, or if you only have 2 languages, we see this a lot in Florida. If you want English and Spanish, that keystroke will just alternate between them. It skips that menu step. And I see that all the time. Or if you're learning a foreign language, you might be primarily an English speaker. And if you're learning Italian, it's great for that, because not only would you get the sound of the Italian, but you'll also get Italian Braille. And I haven't proven this. I want to get with an ESL teacher that will help me research exactly how much easier or how beneficial it is to have the synthetic speech and the Braille of a new language. And I think language acquisition using that dual multimodal, they call it, input stream will help you acquire a language faster. I don't think we have studies that have proven that yet, but I firmly believe it is true.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
Very
Good question.
Thank you, Luz. Dixie, do we have any other hands raised? I don't think we do.
Not at this time.
Not at this time. Okay. Well, thank you very much. With that being said, I'd like to give just another minute or two to both Lisa and Joel with any closing comments that either one of them may have at this time. Guys, do you have any closing comments?
Lisa, you want to give out your contact information?
Sure. Thank you once again for Florida Outreach Center for the Blind hosting us this afternoon, give us the opportunity to share Humanware products. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll give you my email address, and I'll give out the 800 number again if you want to jot this down. My email is Lisa, that's Lisa with an E, Lesa at floridareading.com.
I sent it to her.
Our number here is 800-981-5119. And you can reach us for product purchases, product support, troubleshooting, and also training. As I mentioned, all of our devices do come with the initial training. For ongoing training, we do have training support packages depending on the product. That usually applies to the Braille Note Touch Plus additional training packages. But yeah, feel free to give us, shoot me an email or give us a call with any questions and let us know how we can help. Everyone enjoy the holidays virtually, be safe. And thanks again for sharing your time with us this afternoon. And a special thanks to Joel Zimba, also from Humanware, for the support that Humanware gives and his participation in the webinar this afternoon. You did a great job, Joel. Thank you.
Thanks. This is great. You know, I'm sorry Jose is sick, but I'm glad I could pinch hit for him as needed. And speaking of pinch hitting, Lisa, we got to do spring training. Obviously, this spring is out, but it's still, you're still on my dance card.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, you know, please do give Lisa a call. I think of all of our Humanware dealers as my human shields, because otherwise the barrage of questions comes in thick and heavy. If you want to get in touch with me to discuss how much you love your trek, that'd be great. You can contact me at joel.zimba@humanware.com. I'm not anonymous. I am reachable. I will correspond with you. If you tell me you want to buy something, I'm going to send you to Lisa. And if you have tech support questions, I will help you out, or I'll get you to our tech support department. I will gladly set up workshops. There are people who at least were on the call, I think, from outside of the Florida area. So I am available worldwide in one way or another for workshops, other presentations similar to this one, that sort of thing. Or if you want to get in touch for any other reason, feel free to do so. That's joel.zimba@humanware.com. And happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Excuse me, Lisa?
Yes.
What was your email? I missed it.
It's lisa@floridareading.com, and it's Lisa, Lesa, at floridareading.com.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you to Lisa and Joel for taking time out of your valuable schedules and your day for presenting. Just to let everybody know here on the call who's not already familiar with us, we're the Florida Outreach Center for the Blind. We're a full service training and outreach facility here in West Palm Beach, Florida. So we cover such programs as teaching technology. So I am the instructor, the assistive technology instructor. So I'm able to teach a lot of those products that were covered today. We also do teach full Braille classes and independent living. And we also do have a variety of support and other classes as well. For more information regarding our center, you can call us directly at area code 642-0005. And you can speak to Carolyn Lapp, who is our executive director. I also want to thank Dixie Theory, who is our office administrative assistant here, for helping me co-host the meeting today. And she'll probably be the one answering the phone. So if you call us and you hear a familiar voice, well, that's her. So anyway, I guess we'll go ahead and conclude and end the meeting today. And once again, I want to thank everybody for coming out and joining us today. And also, like Joel and Lisa said, I also want to wish you a very, very happy and very safe Thanksgiving holiday as well. So thank you very much for everybody today. And we will catch you next time on our next workshop. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Center for the Blind has left the meeting.